Hello once again, farming friends, and welcome to another edition of Farming Simulator 2015 with me, Mistermoose. And we're back on my big country, finishing up a little bit of seeding and fertilizing today, and we're going to work on the BGA, getting some chaff for the BGA. Got to looking last night, and I've run into a little situation with the BGA that maybe I need to go ahead and fill up a bunker and get it turning, so when I do harvest all my corn, I'll have bunker space. The problem I ran into is the bunker at the BGA. There's 4 of them, but 3 of them, because this is a modded map, 3 of them will not come completely clean. I'm stuck with like 70-80 liters of silage left in each bunker, and I can't get it out no matter how hard I scrape. I just cannot get them clean. So the only bunker I've been able to get clean is bunker 2, and that's the only one that I can drop fresh chaff into, or grass or whatever. So what I've decided to do is go ahead and fill up bunker 2, go ahead and set it to ferment, and then as soon as it's ready, I can let the telehandler either transfer all of that out to another bunker, or and put some in the processor. But you know, you're not going to be able to fill the processor completely up because it does take time for it to process. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and move it over to another bunker. That way I can, when I harvest our corn, we can go ahead and put that chaff in to bunker 2 as well, and then we'll have 2 full bunkers of chaff. So that's the game plan for today. I thought I'd show you this guy. He has moved once again. Yesterday I backed him all the way back up into the corner, jumped out of the map, came back in, and every time I get back into the map, he moves just a little bit forward. Maybe he's anxious to work or something. And I had that issue with another John Deere mod that it was the reason I stopped using it, was because it would just go wherever it wanted to on the map. So maybe this one's modded by the exact same guy, but eventually it was the reason I threw the mod out, because I got tired of it sliding all the way across the map. I mean, I'd park it here and it would be over here blocking all of these guys at one point. So anyways, let's get to some field work. This guy is finished finally, and I got rid of the 936. I couldn't take it anymore. It just wasn't a good mod for me. Maybe some other people enjoy it, but I got rid of it. This guy did a much better job seeding the fields, and you know, he stays dirty. So I like that, so I dig that. I'm just going to move him out of the way. I'm not going to take him all the way back to the farm and waste y'all's time resetting equipment. I'll do that off camera, so I'll just pull him here and park him, and I'll come back to him a little later. Let's see. So here's where we're going to be processing the grass. I've already cut a little bit, but I thought I would go ahead and show you guys how I set everything up for doing grass, in case you've never done it and you've never automated it this way. So you know, a lot of people just hook a trailer to the back of the Krone and they pull it. So I've got a tractor over here that is already full, so let me go grab it. Alright, so this guy is full, and we're going to go ahead and start recording in Courseplay, and we're just going to get us a little route back to the BGA to where we're going to dump. So move forward. You're supposed to go 2 dots before you make a turn, so got that. And I'm going to run him out through here, so in case another truck's coming in, there would be no conflict. Get him out on the open road, and we'll run him back to the BGA. And, sometimes I try to keep my routes within the lane constraints of the road, but I don't have traffic turned on this map, so I, I don't really worry about it too much. I just drive the truck, get it to where it needs to go, point A to point B. It's not, European Truck Simulator, where you need to worry about hitting traffic or something like that. It's more about the farming, so. But I do try to keep it within the lanes. When you are doing it, try to keep your try to keep your routes as straight and without as little turns as possible, because while you drive it pretty smooth, and this looks smooth to you and I, the AI doesn't. The AI doesn't adjust as well. Let's say it gets a little out of shape, it will get a lot out of shape trying to correct it. So try to make your turns and adjustments tight and precise. And the other thing is while I'm running this at 37, 40 miles an hour, or kilometers, or however it's measured in the game, when I have set up my Courseplay to let the truck be automated, I will have the AI drive much slower. I've found that limiting the truck to about 20 miles an hour or 20 kilometers per hour, however it is, if you limit it to that, they don't swerve across the road nearly as much. They won't get out of shape and lose control. So, and that helps when you're making turns into these corners. Make your turns to where they're smooth and there's little chance of them running into something. They'll run into that little bunker right there in a heartbeat. Alright, so pull through the silo, and again we can only use 2. Oh, I guess I probably should have actually dumped. I'll dump right here. I forgot that I needed to dump the trailer. I was just recording this. It'll leave a big hump there at the end, but it'll get all smoothed out. Alright, record through there and it will dump, and there's several trigger points in the bunker, so as your truck drives through, it will dump in each section just a little bit, and so it'll all smooth out. You won't have one big glob at the beginning or one glob at the end. Alright, and now we return back. And just to show you a little bit more of the map, we'll go through the heart of town. In cab view. I don't drive in cab much, but I will switch every once in a while for you guys. A lot of pedestrians walking around here. And it never fails, no matter where you're at, when you come to this intersection, there's always somebody walking through that intersection. So I just run over them. I'd love it if you actually hit them and they like tumbled across the ground. I mean, that would just be awesome. I would drive through here and just run over people all the time. Now, if there was a penalty for it, I probably wouldn't, but if you hit somebody and they just went ah, and they tumble across the ground, oh man, it'd be like Carmageddon all over again. And I would just I'd be bowling pinning people. I'm probably thinking, man, this guy's crazy. Alright, so we're just about back to the field. We'll run through here and we'll come up and we'll set our stopping point. And what we'll do is we'll bring this guy out about halfway into the field, a little bit past where the other one was, and we'll have him stop right here. And that's that. And we'll save this. And I'm just going to call this grass to BGA 2. And we'll save that. Alright, now for the automation part of it, we'll set up to do combine mode. And let's see here. You always use 4-wheel drive if you want. Speed, as I told you, instead of if you're, normally it would say from recording and automated from the course. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say maximum speed 20 miles an hour and let it just go from there. Okay, next we'll set the combine. It's the Krone Big X, and you're searching, do it manually. And the other thing is start at. Normally when I'm doing combine mode, I normally set for like a tractor with a tipper, I usually have them start rolling around 50% and rolling off at 90. Well, what I do here for doing the chaff, I set up my tractors at 90%. That means they'll sit here at this stop and wait for the other trailer to fill up to 90% before they roll out of here. If you do it any lower, as soon as they get in the field, if and they get back here, as soon as they get back and the other trailer hits, like, let's say 50%, they're going to roll up behind and they're going to follow you around the field the entire time. So might as well just set it up for 90% and let them sit here longer. And then it's not that big of a field. As soon as they hit 90, they'll roll and they'll come on. So alright, so just drive course, and he's ready to go. And I can go ahead and El Stupid is sitting over here in a tree. How that happens, I do not know. Where was he at that he would hit that tree? Oh, he's transitioning from there to there, so I just need to pull him around the corner and hit drive, and he should be good. Or he won't be good. He's just gonna go wherever he wants. Idiot. Get him on this course. Alright, now drive course. There we go. Alright, let's get out of this guy, get into the combine, and get going. Get some grass mowed. And I know I said and probably be doing forestry today, but I needed to get this done to go ahead and get a bunker of silage done before I jump into the forestry. So I'll do this today, and then as soon as I get this finished and set, then I'll jump in and do forestry, and I'll shoot that video and have it up for you tomorrow. Alright, so when it comes to doing this, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You could take, for an open grass field like this, you can take Courseplay. You can record a loop all the way around the perimeter of the course, and then use that to generate a route to mow grass. And I've done that before if I wanted to fully automate it. Or you could run one route around this, mowing out a perimeter, and then jump on the inside of it and use auto combine to go through here and cut it. But I've done it both ways, and what I have found works best for me is just to do it myself. Just drive the combine and let it go, and just take the time to do it myself. It's boring at points, but at the same time, it can be fun. It just depends on what kind of mood you're in. Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where you have to be in the right mood to do grass cutting, or to chop chaff like this. If I was doing corn, I'd automate it with Courseplay. But because I'm doing this, I just tend to do it myself, and I let the trucks do the routes back to the BGA. And I don't know, I look at it as a challenge to make sure that I stay on track, cut as much grass as I can, and get this truck full before the next truck gets back to the field. So it can be rewarding, but it is boring work. But at the same time, let's say you do this, you fill up a complete bunker at the BGA, and that's a lot of cash coming into your account to buy more equipment, upgrades, and things like that. So it pays off in the end. It is, but again, it's not the most wonderful task. And the grass textures in this, it's not as easily noticeable as to how much what grass is cut and what grass is not cut. Sometimes I'll miss a section because it looked like it was cut. I didn't see the little yellow flowers. I think they ought to have the tall grass a little bit darker than the mowed grass. Have either mowed grass be a really light green or a darker sheen to it or something than the high grass. To have the grass a little browner or something like that, it'd be a little easier to recognize, but I don't know. My problem is I play on a 60-inch flat screen television, and I sit halfway across the room, so I'm not right up against a computer monitor when I play. Those days are over. I got a giant flat screen, and I use it. The computer's hooked into it, and that lets me sit in my recliner halfway across the living room, and I can play the game in comfort, and with a wireless keyboard, and I'm not sitting 2 inches from the screen, which is better for my eyesight, I guess, or at least if you believe what everybody says, it's better for my eyesight. So but at that distance, I don't always pick up all the textures perfectly. Alright, looks like that guy's done with the fertilizing over there. I'm going to let him sit for a while. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to focus on doing this on the video because he is done with everything around the farm and west of the farm. There's only 2 more fields that need to be fertilized, and that's 10 and 11, which are over by the BGA, so I'm not going to worry about those until I finish what I'm doing. I'll jump over. They won't take 5-10 minutes to do. And that little bit of delay will keep those fields from being harvestable right when everything else is. So alrighty, so we're filling this up, and I know this is like watching paint dry, but tell you what I'm gonna do is right here when we get to this corner, I'm gonna jump out and start that other tractor. Jump out and start this guy, get him ready to go. Alright, so we're going to get him on grass to BGA. And same thing, he's on the Krone Big X. And 90%. So if I bring this right here, and say drive course. Pick that up and he'll go sit over there. Let's go ahead and stop this guy so I don't pay him. Alright, let's continue cutting grass here. Cut that little bit. Turn here. Hey, in case you're wondering, these power towers that are in here, they are not collidable, so they look great, and you think you've got to really work around them, which when I first started playing this map, I was like, ooh, that's going to be a challenge. You can drive right through them, so even if you got everything automated, you can drive right through them. It's no big deal. Hireables, they don't even see them. The auto combine will see it, but everything else doesn't. So if you just use a hireable from in the game, or if you're using Courseplay, the AI will drive right through it without a problem. Because like on field 2, which is right next to the farm and the one you begin with, it's got a big huge grass patch and a couple of trees and a transmission tower sitting right out in the middle of the field, and immediately right off the bat you think, well, I'm gonna have to cut a headland right around that, and I'm gonna have to really, that part of it's gonna be a factor. First couple of times I did that field, because I did them myself, I went through all that, and then I set up a hireable, and the hireable just drove right through it. I was like, huh, I guess those things look good, but they don't even matter. And there's like a sewer main in one of the fields, you drive right through it. And I guess, the first few times you do them and you think, oh man, that adds a bit of realism in it. But then again, I don't have many, sewer culverts in the middle of my field. Maybe a waterhead for a sprinkler system, but not a culvert. But yeah, so those are they look great, but they're really no challenge to them. You can make them a challenge, you can mow around them if you want to, but if you're just doing automation and you don't really care, you just drive straight through them. Alright, so this truck should just about be ready to move on. It looks like he's at 97%, so if I turn around, the other one should be coming as well. Is that 97 or 87? It looks like 97 from here, but I don't see him moving yet, so maybe we're not as high as I think it is. Maybe that's 90% right there. Yeah, here he comes. I see him down on the mini map making his way across the field. Here's the funniest thing. I have the worst luck in some of these games. I will set that guy up there, and inevitably there's one tree in this field, he will run smack into it. Alright, so that guy's going to pull up behind us, and he'll trail off until this one fills all the way up. And as soon as this one pulls off, which he's going to do something stupid, he's going to pull off and run straight into this tree over here. Nope, he's going to run into the transmission tower. So he's going to pull off and leave. And this is the only thing I don't like. The other one at least stops and waits a second and then tries to run right into him. It's the stupidest thing in the world. He stops for a brief moment over there like, oh, I'm going to let you go ahead and do your loop and get out of my way. But then he just gets impatient and pulls off and runs into him. And it happens just about every single time. It cracks me up every time I see it done. Alright, so that dude's going to go up there. He's going to pick up the path and head out to the BGA and dump, and he'll be back in a while. About the time we get this dude to 50%. And we just keep mowing. And that's how you can use 2 tractors or 2 trailers automated at the same time. And that works for like in a field situation when I'm harvesting sugar beets on those on that farm way out there on 16. I'll usually bring 2 tractors and 2 tippers over there and let them run back and forth. Why 2 tractors and 2 tippers? Because you can't use an auger wagger with potatoes and sweet beets. So you have to use just straight tippers. But I'll usually set them up. I'll set 2 of them up in the field and let the and I'll set the processor to pick which tractor to use based on the fill level of the tractor. If you set distance, it'll just pick whichever one's closest to you and it'll fill them up, which will, in essence, sometimes you'll have 2 tractors sitting in the field. One will have 40% grain, the other will have nothing, and the processor will pick the one with nothing in it and leave the one with 40% just sitting there in the field for a while. So if you set it to select the unit based on the fill level, then it will pull in the truck sitting in the field that at least has something in it. So it'll use a tractor until it's completely full. It drives off, it'll take the next available one. So if you're using Courseplay for that and you haven't figured that part out, yeah, select fill level will use the same tractor until it's full, and then it'll send it to dump and pick up the empty one. And that might not mean anything to anybody. It frustrates me when when you're trying to automate it and you want to see one follow and work with the processor and get filled all the way up and go, and then the next one come on in and do it. And it's odd to have one go into the field, get 40% full, and just sit there the entire time with the motor running and never does anything else because the other trailer does all the work, which I guess if you got a situation where the trailer can get to the silo and back before it needs a different tractor, why do you need 2 tractors? But I don't know, sometimes you get in a situation where in the beginning you gotta have 2 of them. Alrighty, so this guy, we're filling him up. Set the cruise control, pull up our map, and we see our other guy is just south of the BGA. He'll be there in another minute or 2, and we'll switch over to him and I'll show you guys him going through the BGA and how that tipper dumps in each section of the BGA as it goes through that bunker. That way how it spreads out the load, so you don't have one just giant load of grass at the very beginning like when I did it a minute ago by myself. Let's see where he's at. Alright, so he's pulling in right now. Alright, so he's pulling into the BGA, and if you watch, as he hits each trigger, it'll jump a little bit out each time. And that just kind of helps level it all out and keep from having that giant hump right there at the end like I did. Alright, and then he's done. He'll make his way back to where we're at. And we'll continue on doing chaff here. So when he gets back, hopefully we'll be about done. And we can make the swap out. Who am I kidding? We'll only be about 60% by the time he gets back. So this is when you want to kick this processor into high gear and run through this stuff at 10-15 miles an hour. And who doesn't do that on their tractor at home? Hey, you know, it says you should only bush hog in low range at this speed and this many RPMs. Who hasn't kicked their bush hog into, you know, changed your gear select into high range and just rev the motor up and run through a field of grass at the wrong speed? I mean, if you know you got no stumps in there and the grass isn't extremely thick and you're just running through it to knock it down, yeah, I'll admit I've done it. Yeah, confession. If I was doing this in real life, there'd be a cooler of beer next to me and I would just make a Saturday afternoon of it. Alright. Well, I'm going to continue to do this, and we'll get this all processed up and set into the BGA and ready to ferment. And as soon as that's done, we'll set it to ferment overnight and be done for us. And when we come back, I'll do a video on some forestry, because all the fields will be planted and fertilized. This little bit of work will be done. The BGA will be cooking, and it's going to be about noon on our work day. So we'll have plenty of time left over to go over to the forestry area, cut some trees down, and do some forestry. So the next video should be forestry, and we'll take care of that then. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you do, please subscribe to the channel. Give me a little like and you know, thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and leave a comment. I do appreciate you taking the time to watch the videos. And if there's anything you have questions about, just let me know. If there's anything you would like to see, please let me know, and we'll try to get that in for you. But until tomorrow, thanks for watching and have a great day.